Everyone is taught that money responds to effort. But if that were true, the hardest working people on earth would be the wealthiest. Instead, the people who need money the most are the ones it consistently avoids, trapping them in stress, urgency, and endless survival. This is not spirituality. It is not luck. And it is not motivation. It is power psychology, mapped centuries ago by Machiavelli and still obeyed by modern markets. By the end of this, you will understand why money actively resists desperation, how need destroys leverage, and what powerful people do differently without working harder. Money is not moral. It does not reward effort because effort is common. It does not respond to pain because pain is everywhere. It does not move toward need because need signals weakness, and weakness transfers control. Money is power in liquid form, and like all forms of power, it obeys one central law. It flows toward those who appear least dependent on it. This is why calm people rise while emotional people struggle. This is why composed individuals with average skill quietly outperform frantic geniuses. This is why entire populations remain trapped in poverty cycles despite endless labor. Not because they are lazy, but because their posture repels capital. Machiavelli warned rulers never to need loyalty, allies, or approval. The moment a prince appears dependent, authority collapses, control shifts, negotiation disappears. Money operates under the same logic. The moment money senses you must have it, it dictates the terms, and those terms are never generous. Desperation is not silent. It broadcasts itself long before words are spoken. It shows up in how people price their value, how quickly they say yes, how much disrespect they tolerate, how aggressively they chase instead of position. From a power perspective, desperation is a leak. It exposes urgency, and urgency collapses leverage. This is why people who need money badly accept bad deals, stay in exploitative environments, sell future value cheaply, and lock themselves into cycles they cannot escape. They are not being punished, they are being priced. The market does not pity weakness, it extracts from it. Scarcity, contrary to popular belief, is not primarily a financial condition. It is a psychological posture. It shapes how people think, move, and decide. Scarcity thinking prioritizes relief over leverage, immediacy over strategy, emotion over timing. Money avoids this posture because it is unstable. Capital seeks predictability. Predictability requires emotional regulation, and emotional regulation is rare under pressure. This is why people in survival mode often sabotage opportunities without realizing it. They rush conversations, they over-explain, they underprice, they reveal too much too early. They negotiate from fear instead of position. In Machiavellian terms, they surrender before the battle begins. Hard work cannot save this posture. Hard work is respectable, but it is not powerful. Effort impresses, leverage commands. The market pays for impact, scarcity, and control, not exhaustion. Those who need money badly often work more instead of positioning better. They trade time for relief instead of building systems for dominance. And because time is finite, they remain replaceable. Money does not reward replaceability. Emotion makes this worse. Emotion is expensive because it makes you readable, and readability destroys bargaining power. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to manipulate. Machiavelli advised rulers to conceal desire, fear, and need, not because emotion is evil, but because visibility invites exploitation. Money obeys the same rule. It avoids emotional volatility because volatility cannot manage capital. No one entrusts resources to someone who reacts instead of calculates. This is why calm people accumulate. Calm is not personality. It is dominance under pressure. Calm allows delay. Delay creates optionality. Optionality is leverage. Those who can wait signal abundance. Those who cannot wait expose urgency. And urgency collapses value. Money respects patience, not because patience is virtuous, but because patience suggests alternatives. Authority, contrary to what many believe, is often theatrical. Perception precedes reality. Structure, composure, selectiveness, and restraint reduce perceived risk. Money hates chaos. It follows order. This is also why poverty repeats itself. Poverty is not just low income, it is a loop of behavior reinforced by pressure. Pressure trains people to think short-term, act emotionally, and prioritize survival over positioning. Survival thinking is excellent for staying alive, but terrible for accumulating power. Money prefers builders, not survivors. Control is what attracts capital. Control over time, control over emotion, control over narrative, control over access. Those who possess control appear capable of managing resources. Those who lack it broadcast risk. Distance plays a role here. Chasing collapses distance. Distance creates value. What is scarce, selective, and not desperate to be accessed gains perceived worth. Money moves toward exclusivity, not availability. This is why people who are always available are rarely respected, and people who are selective often are. Submission masquerading as humility is another trap. True humility preserves leverage. Submission destroys it. The market can tell the difference instantly. The market is not moral, it is efficient. It allocates resources to those who can manage them without emotional interference. Structure beats passion every time. Systems beat intensity. Consistency beats motivation. Money avoids disorder. Need creates no value. Value attracts money. Need repels it. Machiavelli never advised princes to beg for loyalty. He advised them to command it through structure, positioning, and controlled perception. Confidence plays a role because confidence reduces perceived risk. Capital avoids uncertainty. Panic is uncertainty made visible. This is the survival trap. When your entire focus is now, you lose the future. When you prioritize relief, you sacrifice leverage. And when leverage disappears, money disappears with it. Detachment then becomes a weapon. Those who can walk away hold power. Those emotionally attached to outcomes negotiate poorly. Money senses detachment as dominance. This is why money avoids desperation. Not because it is cruel, but because desperation signals instability, collapses leverage, and transfers control. If this framework is changing how you see money, power, and survival thinking, you already know this is not mainstream knowledge. Stay connected. Follow, subscribe. This ecosystem is not built for comfort. It's built for control. Money does not flow to those who need it. It flows to those who appear composed, structured, and authoritative. Those who master this stop chasing money. Money starts negotiating with them. If you are ready to exit survival mode and learn how money actually responds to posture, leverage, and calm authority, stay close. This is not motivation. This is preparation for power.